Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is October 10, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, big tech stocks lead the U.S. markets higher, but just realize we are going into quarterly earnings season where most of these big tech companies will be publishing their quarterly reports. Now today, there's no major economic events scheduled, and as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the euro looks like it's on edge, either to break out higher or to break out lower. And looking at the Turkish lira, making new record lows versus the dollar. Now looking at the US markets, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ gained on the upside. Looking at commodities, both gold and oil held on to their gap up gains. And as we look at the stocks, specifically the ones that gained the most are Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft. Most of the FANG stocks did gain, where Amazon did not. Now looking at lastly at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD, and this is what I want to highlight because we're right there. We're making a wedge formation. We're making higher lows, lower highs, and we're getting to something that looks exactly like this. And that's exactly where we're at. Now we're still on a downwards momentum. As we look at the trend, it's still right there. Okay, so either it's going to break out higher and break the momentum on the upside, or it's going to really respect it and get back to its lows. So this is something to look at as this unfolds later today. GBP USD also same thing, kind of like at that point where it's bounced but not sure where it's going to go yet. And so did the Japanese yen after consolidating close to its lows, but it is still relatively very weak versus the dollar. Now jumping into commodities, gold holding on and gaining a little bit further yesterday at 1856 right now, really not doing much, but if we do fade, we'll close off the gap eventually. But this is something to keep an eye out because it could still go higher. Crude oil also didn't break out higher, but at the same time, didn't retrace either. So this really is holding on to its gains, and I would wait for it to really break out for us to give us a confirmation in either direction that it's going. Now looking at the US market, starting out with the Dow Jones, a nice little gain to 33,797. Now we've gained over 700 points. You could see that from our hitting that 33,000. Now it's still a sell-off, okay? It's still just, pushing it higher right before this earnings season. So that kind of keeps me worried, okay? Not worried, but wary, because I'm not so convinced that these stocks are exactly at multiples that they should be. And I think if this doesn't sustain itself, we're going to go sell off later. But they have to, kind of pivot up right before these earnings season. And this is the NASDAQ as it's earned. Now, looking at a daily, it's a little bit stronger than the Dow, okay? And that's reflective of the stock. So if we look at Apple, it continued that gain to 179. If we look at Facebook, also continued that gain to 318, but didn't break out higher, okay? Now, when we look at Amazon, did not, okay? It's relatively still weak off of its highs from 145. Google did and is back on its all-time highs. So you see some of the stocks are still relatively strong. I think we skipped Microsoft in there also, where it did gain to 329 and holding above that 30-day moving average. So as we look at the FANG stocks, most of them did gain, and that shift in the market may play catch-up with Amazon later on, and that's something you got to keep an eye out for. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, remains mostly unchanged, 27,600, not really tradable. Focus on the U.S. stocks as the markets are going to expand there much more. You got a late day rally yesterday. So there are pockets of opportunities. You just have to jump on them. And those are the ones that will create the most amount of upside potential when you're trading. You got to be very asset selective. Okay, you can't just trade everything all at the same time and expect it to trade for you. You have to just pick the winners and the ones that are actually moving and have that volatility. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.